Welcome to the grading and submission video. My name is Daniel from Melio AI, and in this video, I'm going to show you our example repo, how to self-assess your model, as well as how to submit your model to Zindi. Now, everything we go through here comes from our documentation, so if you need help, please refer to it. You should go through the documentation to make sure you understand the requirements, as well as refer to it for any help or guidance that you need. Alright, I think that's everything. Let's get started. We have provided a few example models for you to experiment with. This includes the iris classifier model, which we have covered in our previous videos. The example more in line with the competition is the translate Julia to French example, where we translate Julia to French using machine learning. It's highly recommended to go through the Jupyter notebooks to see how the model is trained and how inference is made. If you are new to machine learning, we have also provided links in our docs to get you started. Don't be scared to try things out. The key to machine learning is lots and lots of experimentation. Here we are in the Highwind examples repo. We can see the different models for us to experiment with, as well as the iris classification model we used before. We'll focus on the translate Julia to French hugging face model. Here, in the README, it gives you the instructions on how to set up your environment. If we go to the notebooks folder, we can see the Jupyter notebooks showing us how to train the model and how to run inferences. Then in the deployment folder, which we've covered before, is where we set up our model for Highwind deployment. There are a few things that you need to consider before you deploy. Before you start, it's important to understand the rules and how your model will be graded. Also, it's critical that you test your model before deployment. For resources to be fairly distributed and to prevent spamming, you are only able to submit 3 times a day. We've covered local testing in the previous video, but the docs and the repo examples will also guide you through it. There are also some hardware restrictions. Your model must be optimized to be able to run on these specifications. Lastly, make sure that you're not using any paid tools or services. This includes free trials. Only tools that are free and available to everyone are accepted. In the documentation, it shows you how scores are calculated and the weighting for each category. There is also a leaderboard available so you can see how you and other teams are doing. Please note that the scores will not reflect immediately and it takes some time to update. However, what's cool is that you can actually grade your model locally so you can understand how well your model is scoring. You'll need to work out or estimate these numbers for your model. What we're going to do is to pull the Docker image that contains the self-assessment tool. First, I'm going to put the image name into an environment variable. Now, you don't need to use environment variables. We're just using it here to save some typing. Then I'm going to pull the image. I have already pulled this image before, which is why it finished immediately. Now I'm going to give the image a new name by retagging it. Let's double check if the images are present with image list. Now I'm going to run the self-assessment tool and this will start a fast API server. I'm going to open a new terminal. Since I'm on Windows, I'll be using PowerShell commands. First, I'm going to paste the estimated values I have for each category into a body variable. Then I'm going to invoke web request, which is similar to curl, and then get the grading response. Here we can see our public and private scores, as well as the scores for the other criteria. If you want, you can also go to the browser to self-assess your model. In the address bar, type in localhost 8000/docs to go to the fast API docs. Here, we'll be able to see the API spec and the data types. To start, click on the Try It Out button and then go to the request body. From there, fill in the values, click Execute. Then we'll get the same response as before. Now that we're done, press Ctrl+C to kill the server. Previously, we went through how to containerize and deploy your model. The model must be deployed before you submit. For the competition grading process, you also need to package the following files and folders into a zip file. It should be structured the same as this example so that we are compliant with the required format. Once you have everything ready, we submit this file to Zindi. Now there's no strict way to do this, but I'll just show you how I would do it. First, I create a new folder called Submission. Then, I copy the relevant files over while keeping the required structure. Then, I need to get the image URI. Head over to Highwind and go to your assets page. I'm going to use this iris one from before. Scroll all the way down to the bottom and click on the Copy Image URI button. Then, we paste this value into a text file called image name. Now I'm going to check that everything is present. Once you have everything, you just zip everything up and it's ready for submission. Next, go to the Zindi competition page and then click on the submit button. Then you upload your zip file and you're done. I hope that this video helps you better understand the grading and submission process. Again, please refer to documentation as it's very important to understand the rules and requirements. We don't want your model to be disqualified. Otherwise, best of luck in the competition and I'm looking forward to see your progress. Alright, that's it from me. Bye for now.